Yeah, welcome back to the Nothing to Fear podcast. I go by the name of Blanco Pro. This week, we have a very special guest on board, but one moment, stick up on it. It's a people's podcast. Remember, like, share, and subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. That podcast is where we share stuff with each other, we build with each other, share energy, and it's a way to grow. We put people on, put people in the right position to go and win. We're not about tearing down people. The energy around here is already clear. The People's Podcast. Just remember that. So, welcome to the Nothing to Fear podcast. Today we got a special guest in the building. A man whose lens help him capture culture, history, greatness. Born in St. Lucia, migrate to New York with a legend in hip hop, fashion, entertainment, from golden era to timeless visual. He's seen it all. We are honored to have award-winning photographer, Mr. Jeffrey Gamble, in the building. Welcome to the show, my brother.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. Thank you for being here.
Yes, sir. How you been today, man?
I've been great, man. I've been feeling good. It's been a beautiful day from early start. And more importantly, happy to be here with you guys. I'm always elated to really share and tell the stories and just just live life. Continue just enjoying what you've been blessed to do and share. You know. Yeah, but I feel really great, just feeling healthy, you know, and wealthy,
Of course, of course.
Yeah, but just a good vibes, good vibe. And I was really thinking about really this opportunity as well,
Yes.
and looking forward to this moment. To be honest with everyone, to be honest with you guys.
Listen, it's a pleasure of having you here.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Yes, it's gonna be a great. It's gonna be a
indeed.
great interview. So let me shout out to my boy, my right hand, P Gunner. What's up, bro?
Yo.
Where's the microphone, bro? What's good?
What's the word, y'all? I'm in the back. My boy Chris. Me and Chris in the back right now. We chilling.
Yeah. What up, Anton, the producer? What's good, man? How you been today?
I'm good, man. I'm chilling. Can't complain. Another day, man. God bless me another day, man. It's all
Yes,
good.
sir.
Amen.
Thank God.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? So, let me start this. It's gonna be a fun one. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Indeed.
Yeah, I'm from Jamaica. You're from St. Lucia. I already know the vibes. You know what I mean? I do my little research on you. There's a lot of whole sort of things came up. You know what I mean? I know the Nothing to Fear podcast out there are waiting to hear greatness sitting right here.
And I just love that concept and that term, nothing to fear, because
Yeah,
that's something that you should have nothing to fear, like in terms of anything that you're doing, the less
Yeah.
fear you have in anything, the more success you will have, like
Yes.
literally,
So we appreciate you coming through.
Yes.
Your story is powerful. Coming from St. Lucia, making that move to New York, then becoming respected name in photography. When you look back, did you always know that creativity was your path?
Yeah, actually, believe it or not, because before I left St. Lucia, I they used to tell me that St. Lucia too small for you.
Yeah.
So I used to sell incense in the community and in a lot of different parts of Castries. And I used to meet a lot of people. So I had all these like vendors and stuff like that. But more importantly, in school, I was doing art already. And I used to tell myself I want to be an artist. So I used to draw the buildings, work with pencil and stuff like that. But then they had the haters around from even then saying what artists, such and such. But in my head, I did not know what medium I was gonna work in, like literally, but I had in mind something either architecture or something to that greatness.
Something with art.
Yeah, something with art, definitely, because it started with all the
Yeah,
pencil, and that's how
visual.
even changed into photography,
Yes.
But I definitely believed in self from day one, from 11, 10 years old,
That's
believing in that,
big
like,
word.
like without no questions asked, right? yeah, whether it maybe here or Europe, but America ended up being the road that it happened in because my mom was here ahead of us for 5 years and came back and got us, you know. Yeah, so Brooklyn was that place of where it really started to happen.
That's where everything
That's
started creating.
Everything started to create.
Dreams start coming to reality.
Yeah, man. Like I tell you, you know, and it's a great place, a great melting pot for that to happen because this is where you get to really express yourself. And, you know, it's funny talking about greatness. So I came out here in August, right? 15th. By October 15th, I used to go to school in Bensonhurst, Brooklyn, all white neighborhood. By the third month, I had already got recommended for a scholarship for Pratt Institute in my drawing. So the white folks, well, they saw that something in me from the third month. They called my aunt, my family, and said, well, we'd like him to go on Saturdays to continue his art and his stuff like that. Now, mind you, I'm still developing, I'm still learning, I'm still growing. You know, I did get a chance to be exposed to photography in St. Lucia, but I didn't get a chance to touch the camera or anything like that. I just used to stay in a dark room, like a studio, and I used to go ask questions. What is this? What is that?
Yeah, in the dark room.
Yeah, the guys used to
ready
be
room.
move from there, man. You know, because you know, they were doing bigger things and they were doing ladies and whatever. But you know, but that was the foundation for seeing it, and then later on drawing because the foundation of photography is drawing. A lot of people don't really know that because before they even had the camera years ago was illustrators.
Illustrators.
To do an ad, you have to illustrate it. You have to sketch it, right? That's how they did ads before. So the camera became like a tool, like AI or digital. Years later, people, even when the camera came about, people used to fight the camera. Oh, it's another tool. Those guys didn't realize that the camera, when they collaborated with the illustrator, it became a happy beat.
They evolve it.
Yeah.
They evolve it.
Exactly.
Into an easier technology where you could,
yeah.
You know what I mean? You don't have to go through so much obstacles. It's right there. Everything's right there. Because remember, all this developing in Red Room and all of that, developing pictures, and that shit is like authentic now.
Exactly.
Nobody do that no more.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? People still do it.
It's still coming back a
It's
little
still
bit.
coming back a little bit, which is it's a real art right there. You know what I mean? But listen to this one. You've captured icons, moments, right, and history through your lens. What was the turning point where you realized that this is more than a hobby? It was your calling.
Well, from high school, from maybe about 11th grade, I wanted to be a photojournalist, and I was doing it a lot of pictures in the high school, right? And then I used to get a lot of feedback from some of the other students. They used to laugh at me, and they used to laugh. Someone's in the back of the room. They just, make jokes. But I was just always focused because I kind of knew in my heart I wanted to be a successful photographer at that point, and that's all I knew. I did not know anything about celebrities' life and all of that. I just knew that. All right, well, I want to either be the fun fact. I was out here in Crown Heights on the streets for from 8th grade to about 9th grade, right? And my mom was getting a little bit upset with me, and she was like, I brought tears to her eyes, and she said, okay, one more thing, and you go back home. So I had to kind of figure it out. One more thing did happen, but she just never found out. So she invested to keep me in the house. She invested in a brand new stereo system, paid like almost $1,000 plus, and then signed off in the school the camera for the summer, right? They said, you sure you want to sign it off for him? So okay, she signed it off, and that way I had a camera that summer home. And for some reason, she saw that I had a passion for something, and it was either community step pops. Problem with little step pops is either he go and I stay or whatever, But at the end of it, dealing with the world out there and dealing with internal home issues, I had to figure out a path of what I like. Because honestly, you guys, before shooting the camera, was around people that were shooting the gun, right? And some of these people that were at that point, they started saying, well, okay, listen, we ain't giving that no more. We're not putting that in your hand. Where's your camera? So even when they had that on them, my camera was that thing. And I
That was
remember
your thing.
that was my thing. And the
Yeah,
funny
yeah.
thing is that I had a little job. I had worked at Pathmark, and one of my buddies, right after I gave him $1 on Franklin Avenue in Union, he got shot in his head. And I saw this happen. Right after he died with the money in his hand and everything. I didn't see it happen, but I heard the shot. As soon as I ran out, I had to go call his mom, brought his mom to the body and everything like that. So then I ended up getting a lot of film from Pathmark, color film. So I was the photographer at the funeral, right? So I ended up doing it, and that's when it started to really sink in and say, I really like this camera thing. I really like taking pictures, you know? So that was like about ninth grade summer into 10th grade, and then 10th grade, like second semester, is when I started to really believe in myself a little bit and say, okay, you know what? I got something going on there. They had other people that believed in me, you know, my teacher in high school, my assistant principal, and they just started to really, you know, put confidence in me. And I was going to school in Manhattan at that time, Washington Irving, you know?
Yeah.
And, you know, some of the people were like, you know, they had people from Brooklyn, different parts. And you know, it's just like, I just had to figure out a way to separate myself from the chaos.
Yeah. So let me roll back a little bit.
Okay.
All right. At what age you came here from St. Lucia, and what was the adjustment like? What was the difference between St. Lucia and being in the States? What was it, the experience like?
To be honest with you, when I came out here like 11 that summer. I turned 12 that year. In St. Lucia, believe it or not, you're a lot more advanced in some things than out here.
Because everything out there.
Yeah, first of all, I had to go back 1 year. They put me back in 7th grade, I think, or 6th grade. But I was supposed to be in 7th grade that year. But to be honest with you guys, I was like dealing with people back home 8 years older than me. So my mind structure, I was around people.
That's what the islands is.
You know, dealing with people with all different things. And I was cooking already. I was sewing. I was ironing my clothes for school. I was exercising in the morning. Like, they was doing certain things adults would do. So my mind frame was literally ahead. Because when I went in school, I'm seeing what kids were talking about. I'm like, we done been through that already. Like, you know what I'm saying? On a certain level, right? So with that, so transitioning into that, including even with like smoking weed. I mean, like, that's something that we did down there, like on a different level. You know what I'm saying? Like, they wasn't even doing that here at that age range.
Thanks.
So, you know, I was really on that level, you know. So it's just like I had to come back as a kid again in America.
Yep.
Like, literally, you know.
Really
Not only that, but my mom left for 5 years, and I had to grow up with my grandmother and my aunt. So I was developed a little bit more, so I had to come back again to be a regular teenager. Again.
So
calmly,
coming here as a regular teenager, right? What made you choose the camera over the gun? At what point you like, yo, this is what I want?
Well, one of it was really seeing my buddy get killed, you know, but he was a gunman too, so he was a person that they say, first of all, the Bible tells you, you live by the sword, you'll die by the sword. You know, that was my first example of seeing something when people talk about that. Now, he's a man that used to go do things to people. I did not always know because my mom was so strict. I used to go with them at night. But I know in the next day or next morning, they always had things, jewelry or cameras. And, I never asked questions, but I used to see. And when I saw that, it really shook me up and made me start to go look for my first jobs at retail in the city, right? Gap, all these other places and everything like that. And I went out there and I was not getting any job, but I probably was about 15, 16 then, though, to be honest with you.
You was too young. You wasn't at that age yet.
Yeah, I wasn't really that age yet to really, I was trying to get the jobs, you know what I mean? Like, but it wasn't really happening. Like, everybody was saying no, so that's when I figured out, okay, well, I got to do my own thing. You know, I got to figure out a way. So it wasn't quite when I first came here, but like 4 years after, like 3 to 4 years after.
Okay,
You
so
know
let we get into the part now that people want to know about. You have seen the golden era of hip hop up close. Before we got into all of the legendary work, tell us back, take us back to the beginning. What was young Jeffrey Campbell like growing up?
Here or in New York or St.
Yeah,
Lucia?
New York.
New York.
New York.
Young Jeffrey Gamble. Growing up, I grew up in Crown Heights, Brooklyn. Prospect Place, Classen Avenue. Prospect Place, Franklin Avenue. I'll never forget when I slept out of my mom's house the first night, August 15th, the year, and I had a lot of Jamaican friends. So I really came here, birthed from St. Lucia, but I grew up in the Jamaican community. They're the one that embraced me.
Yeah.
They're the one that loved me. They're the one that not only put the camera in my hand too and say, okay, well, we're going to the city now. Put the camera on your neck. We're going to the club, California club, when Flex from Master Flex was just starting out. We go in there and I want you to be the camera, you know? So I ended up being around two cultures. The American culture, which was like Franklin Avenue, Crown Heights, and the Jamaican culture, which was Nostrand Avenue and President Street, right? Because I had a buddy of mine when I went to school in Bay Ridge. He lived around President Street and Nostrand, so that's where the Jamaicans lived at. The gunman, that crowd of that element was on Franklin Avenue. So when I realized that I don't want to deal with that element, no, with the bad boy, the gun, so I started to shift that summer and go check my people on President Street because I realized it was sound system, people singing, they're making speaker box, talent, and less trouble, right? They may have had games and different things going on, but it wasn't about like, the Yankee side was just beer drama, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna, right? The Jamaican side, they had that, but it wasn't as crazy. So I realized where I wanted to fit in, right? And I started to make those guys my first projects. Those were the first artists I ended up photographing. Some of those guys, you know what I mean? They were singers, and I did my black and whites and Squeechy Dan and Red Fox and Shaggy, you know, in those early days, and Baja Jed, some of the key classic, you know, guys. And that's what I experimented on. And some of those guys, when they see me, they say, Jeff, I still have that in my house, you know. So that gave me that component to really believe that I have something going on here. You know what I mean? And then I had my little dark room at that time at night. And when my mom, you know, when I started to see the joy in my mom's eye a little bit, then
motivation.
Yeah, I started to say, okay, you know what, man, let me just hold myself
together.
Let me just, you know, compose myself, because it takes a community, man. You know, it takes prayers, it takes people praying for you in the Caribbean. It takes a lot, because them streets will eat you alive. You know, I wouldn't even be here right now. They'd be here with you guys, brother.
Thank God you experienced both worlds, because it's different it's different in the islands.
Yeah, it's different.
You know what I mean? When the neighbor will see you wherever you go, the eyes is a camera.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
They'll even beat you. They will, you know.
It's a different here.
Right.
We got the cameras in the street here.
Yep.
But in the islands, we got the people that care about you. Eyes
care
everywhere
about
you
you.
go. You know what I mean?
They care about you.
Yep.
So that was a key component. Here, no one really cares. You know, they see you. They might say something to you if they do that, you know, but they don't really care what you're doing. So running the streets out here, you know, but Franklin Avenue at the same token though, even if I grew up around the Jamaicans, the President Street, my first award, my first picture was a picture I took on Franklin Avenue. At that point, in Eastern Parkway was a hub where all high schools used to meet. But also they had some alcoholics that used to drink in the corner there. Franklin, and I took a picture. And that picture won me an award for $150, right? $150. So my teacher said, well, Jeff, we could either give you the $150 or he has a dark room. You know, he has an enlarger.
Yep.
So I said, me thinking, I was like, you know what? Hold the 150 and give me the enlarger. I took the enlarger.
Right move.
Because I thought about it later, even around, I could have bought one pair of sneakers, and 150 would have been gone.
Of course.
I took the enlarger, right? And I started to, like, when my mom saw I brought the enlarger home, she at night, I used to open the dark room from 11 to 5 in the morning. So I used to start printing. So in the daytime, from like when I wake up from 11 in the morning, well, from 1 o'clock to maybe it's 8 sundown, I'm taking pictures and delivering. And at night, I would do the dark room.
The dark room.
Yeah, from that 150.
So that's
That
when.
turned to- so that summer when I made $3,000, when everybody in high school they get the summer jobs, they get like $500 or like $400, those days. I said, but damn, I made $3,000 for myself, working for myself. That was it.
Man, you mentioned some prominent name in the reggae game. Shaggy,
Yeah.
the whole works.
Baja
man.
Jet was original too.
You see Squeechy Dan, you see all of that, and you watch it come to fruition. How does that make you feel?
Oh, it made me feel great, man. It really made me feel good. I didn't know Shaggy as much, but I knew he used to come through a little bit. But definitely Squeechy Dan, because he still has a classic song with Red Fox that's classic worldwide. Even when I went to Poland, England, Paris, everywhere you go, you cannot go to any dance hall, reggae party, and then not play that. So from seeing them, and to be honest with you, they're the one that gave me the confidence. Because on the American side of things, it didn't really, they became some of my first investors, because some of them had groups say, well, I have a group you could photograph and stuff like that, but it didn't give me that push. Is when I went more the Jamaican scene, and I see they passionate to achieving something, it gave me a confidence to do my thing.
Yeah, so,
Yeah,
all right.
sound system, pretty much,
So I know, doing all that stages, right? You was still experimenting, right? When was that moment when you was like, yo, this is it. This is it. This is the moment right here.
Oh, okay. So I was at home. I had a Jamaican girlfriend, and she used to work for a guy called Richard Green, Youth Collective. And she always told me, Jeff, you should come down there and see what this guy's about and everything like that. But I never used to go. So a spirit came one time, used to talk to me. Go down there, right? Go down there. So one day I came from school, high school. I listened to the spirit. I went down there. When I went down there, I met two people. I met an older man. He said, come in. Out of all these kids, the older man said, come in. Help me. I want you to help me and different things like that. So I told him what happened. I had got robbed with a chain or something like that, right? And the same dude I went on a hospital bed to see ended up coming out and rob everybody on Franklin Avenue, the whole strip. So anyway, that story was very interesting. So when I told him, it really hurt me. When I told him that, he's like, okay, all right, I want you to get connected to the spiritual side of things. But then also, Mr. Green knew another guy called Jerry Jack. So Jerry Jack used to be an assistant in Manhattan to a very famous photographer called Anthony Barboza. So he said, okay, well, I'm gonna put you on to him because I'm the fifth assistant, his first assistant, but he has guys assisting him, but then he may like you. So then I had to call the photographer about 15 times to really, get in. So when I got that opportunity in Manhattan, now this was straight from high school, leaving that summer, like 12th grade, I didn't even waste no time from the summer. When I went there, I started right away doing stuff like JCPenney and all these other good jobs. And when I saw that situation, that kind of helped me. But then also a little bit before that, I was in a program called AXO, where Kanye West was part of, Jada Pinkett was part of, through the NAACP. And that was 3 years, that was 2 years before that, before I met this professional in Manhattan. So it kind of told me, okay, I could do this, but on what level? Because there are levels to this. You know what I'm saying? There's one level you could know, okay, well, I can photograph people, I could do my community and everything like that. But not until I started working with this gentleman in Manhattan, I said, okay, well, all right, that's the commercial side of things. That's the magazines. That's the New York Times magazine. That's JCPenney. That's the real. You can make a living off that. The first day I worked with the guy, I went to deposit a check for $13,000 to Chase Bank. I'll never forget. $13,000. $13,000 check.
What year was that?
That was 1993.
$13,000?
June 1993. $13,000.
That's
a check I saw in my hand.
That's a lot of money.
He just signed the back, and I just went to deposit. This guy used to make like 30 grand a month sometimes.
That's a lot of money at those times. That changed your
He
life.
didn't even know me, right? Like, I mean, he knew of me, but like, what can I do with that anyway? I couldn't have done anything with it, like run with it. But just to see that, right? So I go deposit the check. So then my mom now didn't always believe in the arts. So she used to be like, oh, maybe you should get a job with the post office. And I understand she
I
wants
understand. Parents, she'd been a
security,
parent.
She
She'd been a
understands
parent.
security. But I just told Mom, just be a little patient.
Yeah.
I'm seeing this guy working freelance and they doing their thing or whatever. Just be a little patient with this, And she was, and then eventually things started to. So that was like the turning point.
Listen, I do my research, right? And the research that I get, you're very listed in the system, Mr. Jeffrey Campbell. Just so that you know that. You know what I mean? I see your work take internationally for you, like in countries like Paris, London, Amsterdam, Sweden, Jamaica, Turks and Caicos, and your home country, St. Lucia. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, as a young man, I always thought globally. That's number one. I always tell people, with your talent God has given you, you may not always shine where you live. And your talent can work, whether you're a writer, a singer, a photographer, you can work in different arenas in the world, but you have to make it there. You have to have a visa, you have to have a passport. So I always thought globally. And I remember I used to be in a Spanish class. I used to tell my teacher, I used to look at the globe and spin the globe and tell her, I want to go there, maybe there. And she used to say, don't worry, son, you're going to get there. And sure enough, photography, get there. Even Jamaica, for instance, right?
Yep.
I always wanted to go to Jamaica, and I always wondered, how am I going to get there? And I'll never forget, photography got me there the first time and ended up going there 10, 12 times, even thereafter, right? Like just having the vision, right? But working in Poland, it's all through connections, working with models, your talent, and being passionate. When people see you passionate, right? They see your work. Your work, you don't have to speak much. When you're passionate, people will tell another person, and it will lead you to places you least expect. So I'm in Poland. I'm on TV in Poland as well, interview just like this. 3,000 miles from Franklin Avenue, but I'm still thinking about Franklin Avenue. I'm still thinking about Crown Heights. Like, wow, how do you get to Poland? Yeah. I saw 5 black people in 7 days. And the 5 black people I saw they worked in restaurants and they were studying to be doctors because it was cheaper to be doctors in Poland. They're from Africa and they worked in the kitchen, right? 5 black people in 7 days. So I'm running around, the kids are running, like they never see black people, so that was a really, really interesting experience. And I always loved Europe. Europe was something that I really enjoyed in terms of, London in particular, because London was like the next town closest to America that I really felt connected with. And I mean, another thing that really occurred to me, so my cousins and them used to always say, come and visit them. So I ended up going out there in 95. And this is a real story. I got out there and I made a wish to the universe, to God. I said, God, I would just love to come back and just work with a magazine, specifically a magazine. I came back to America that January 96. I was 95 into 96. And by 5 months later, I was back in London working with one of the biggest magazines in the world, British Elle magazine, through my college, right? And at first, it wasn't supposed to be a magazine. It was a joint communications class, marketing communications class, as I was already doing photography. So leaving college now, this is like up, moving up from high school up, right? So I'm trying to figure out, well, what am I going to do a little bit? I was assisting in the game a little bit. And so they said, okay, we'll do research on 3 companies, an advertising agency, a PR firm, and a magazine. Again, when you work hard, my resume alone spoke for itself. Those people from the college in Manhattan, they sent the resume to London, and the magazine said, "Yeah, we're happy to have him." They didn't know where I'm from. They was like, "You're happy,"
because they saw the resume. So
so that was, but again, it was a combination of the resume, hard work, believing in self, and believing in the almighty power, your dreams.
Sir. Amen to that.
Putting it out there.
That's
the
gospel.
first initial step was putting it out. I literally, specifically said, I would like to come back and get an opportunity to work with a magazine. When I got back to America, I did not know 5 months later I would be back in London You know, that was my first journeys to Europe, my first ventures. I didn't do Paris yet. So through London, they sent me to Paris through British Elle magazine to deliver a book on the fastest train you could ever think of. They had just developed the bullet train from England. It takes 1.5 hours from England to Paris. So I went from that experience. It's like, oh, you know, that's one thing about Europe. They push you. London, they like the underdogs. They like when you're developing they believe in you and go do it and meet people. Man, I met people and opportunities in Paris. And I'm in Paris, right? And I'm saying to myself, how did I have to come across the Atlantic Ocean to meet a connection for New York? They literally were connecting you with people in New York from there. And in New York, you hear, and things are not happening because of people, the way they look at you, the way they judge you sometimes, the way, whatever is blocking that energy. But just start. There's one other thing I must express. I say this. In the universe, there's stars. And sometimes, depending on your talent, where you are, where that star is shining upon you, is where you will highlight your talents the most.
But what I'm getting from you too, the energy is so high in the room right now. What I'm getting from you manifest a lot, and I could tell that you manifest, and all this stuff that you manifest, most of them came true.
Jamaica too?
Yeah, all of them came true, right? But I did some other research on you, and what I see here, you has worked with some notable figures such as Biggie, Notorious Biggie, Jay-Z, DMX, Faith Evans, Usher, Fat Joe, Big Pun.
Big Pun. Big Pun. Big Pun was a great story. Big Pun.
Big Pun.
Big Pun.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace,
Yes.
Big Pun. I'll never forget.
Yeah.
We was waiting. I was doing an ad for Fat Joe FJ560.
One moment. Rest in peace to DMX too.
Yeah. Oh,
You
DMX.
know,
Oh, yeah.
rest
That's
in
we
power.
gotta go to that.
Yeah, we gotta get to that.
But Bronx mode. But Big Pun was a story because it was hot. I'll never forget. And I was doing an ad for FJ560. So he was part of the Terror Squad, Fat Joe. So we waiting on Big Pun. So everybody comes on big bikes. It's just 1,000. Fat Joe comes in 1,000. Big Pun comes as a scooter. His whole body covered the scooter.
That's my boy right there. That was my guy.
He covered the scooter, and it was a vibe. And we did our shoot, and that ended up being in the Source magazine at that time. You know, that was Big Pun. That was my experience with him. And you know, when you get the opportunity to work with celebrities, well, one thing is when I was working as an assistant, it kind of prepared me to work with celebrities. So when I did start working with them, I just never really, I admired them, but I never really made them look, you know, like get starstruck or anything like that. You know, I was just doing my job. Technically, I'm just trying to execute something amazing. So that was kind of fun, and just shooting it and getting it out, and then along the journey of that, I mean, you know, they were, like I said, you know, you named a few great ones. DMX, working on the movie Belly, that was a really great experience.
Do you want to talk about the experience of DMX?
Oh man, that was really amazing. DMX gave me a lot of confidence, brother. Like, I'm not gonna lie, you guys, because when he made that song "Where My Dog's At" and different things, all I remember the segment I got to work. I remember him saying in a room, right, downtime. You know, he's drinking some Hennessy, and it might have been him and Method Man, which I have an image there.
Yeah.
Him and Meth, and they're talking, and all I remember hearing was, "Watch what I'm about to do to the streets. Watch what I'm about to do to the streets." So I'm listening, and I'm like, okay. So I'm young, you know, and I'm trying to figure out, well, what I'm gonna navigate. I'm passionate about my career, my what I'm doing, and 1 year later, when I went to every community you could think of, and I'm hearing "Where My Dog's At" in the cars, like pumping. Yeah, that year I think he had 2 hits on the #1 chart, like, you know, and reflecting back at that moment gave me so much confidence to believe in myself and to believe in the power of the word, because when you hear that level, first of all, I did not even know who DMX was. I did not know. All I knew was a guy rapping. I didn't really love rap 100% then, like, to be honest with you. But the story connected with me, and when I realized, like, when a person said that in 1 year, it took 1 year, and to see that next summer, then I started to believe in my talent and believe in my craft, and just give it all you have to continue working. And then I worked. So 5 years later, I ended up working with him, in my studio in the city. At that point, another phase in time where he had to photograph. That time they were at that point they were trying to polish his image a little bit because he had done so many different things, and he was working with a PR company, Double Exposure, that was trying to pretty much polish the image. So basically, him, Swiss Beats was there. So Swiss Beats wasn't even married to Alicia yet at that point. So he was humbly there doing his thing. He was trying to figure out himself too. He came to the studio. It's like 5 of them came. We waited for his wife for 4 hours. Okay, so I photographed him and captures those images. And then later, his wife came. His wife took like 4 hours to come with his kids.
You were showing to me them earlier.
So this was one of the images of the DMX or the DMX experience of Belly.
Show it to the camera.
Yeah. So this was the one from Belly. Right. That was the one experience from that. And actually, Method Man worked on that project as well. Right. Method Man was part of that experience. So that was a good experience to see Wu-Tang, DMX, because those are 2 successful groups. Well, DMX doing his thing and Method Man. And then later, the ones that I did with X in the studio was like these 2 images, which is really like giving me my moment to really, right? Like I took this because at the moment of working with him, I said, just close your eyes. And he was actually singing and doing his thing. And, he nonstop. He's like, just keep shooting, man. So I kind of captured this. Just like, so me, I'm just snapping. This is non-digital. All these were non-digital. This is like negative. This is film, analog. And like, I'm like, you know what? Capture that. This was the moment. And then, just like hearing the stories and reading the books after and like really paying attention to the stories of these guys really inspires you, coming from, humble beginnings. And like I came from grassroots, peeps, people.
And you happen to see it beforehand.
See
that beforehand.
Happen to see.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
And watch that shit come to fruition.
And that's the most beautiful thing about like life and about like really believing in your talent and believing in certain things, because it's not only the musicians, but later on it became models and designers and different people that you end up working with in the industry, and that's the most beautiful thing about seeing it come to life, because a lot of people don't understand, even in today's world, right? A lot of the culture we in right now, everything is now. We living in a now time. Like people want success and hits and everything like that overnight. They don't realize you got to put the energy and you got to put the time in. DMX was working for almost 20 years.
Before he...
Literally almost 15 years before he became successful.
Yeah, most people from back then.
Yeah,
most people
like now you have a different platforms, you have a different audience, but still you got to put the time in. You got to put the energy.
So how did you like really hone in on your niche? Like what exactly is your niche in photography? Actually?
So my niche is people. I love working with people. Okay. So that's one thing I learned from the streets in Crown Heights.
You more like a lifestyle shooter or?
Yeah, lifestyle, portraits, small portraits.
Okay.
Yeah, and beauty. So I was doing a lot of portraits, and to be honest with you, I did rising up. I did everything to survive because I came from grassroots. I had to take care of my family.
Like
I have
most
3 daughters.
We do every day.
But at one point, you have to kind of like everyone says, well, what do you do really well? So what I did really well,
that's what you got to find out. Yep.
Portraits and beauty photography. So, surviving through different how we call it, to different recessions, like 9/11, 08 recession. I had to figure out how to reinvent myself and how to survive. So, in addition to doing, at one point, I was doing a lot of celebrity stuff. And the funny thing is, the celebrity world, most of it, guys, I did not market towards that. I did not go looking for that.
It never happens like that. As a
No,
photographer, it's like you be chilling one spot, and then next thing you get asked to go here, asked to go there. You in the studio here.
Yeah, that too.
You say that. I'm going to say this to you. Like, I cut hair for a living. I'm a barber. But what I did was, I kind of evolved over the years, and I studied the game, because you have to know what you're doing to make your move the best move. You know what I mean? It's like playing chess. So what I did is, I studied the game, right? And then I was like hungry for celebrities. I was like, I want to be a celebrity barber. Then the next thing came to me, and I was like, why would I want to be a celebrity barber? I want to be my own brand. Isn't that a better thing? So when I become a brand, I myself become a celebrity, right?
They want
And
you.
then
They want you what you got. They want your brand, not their brand.
They want your brand. They want to connect both brand because
Yep.
my brand comes with elevation. My brand comes with levitation. You understand what I'm saying?
That's the same.
You understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So I put two together and was like, it's all right. End up, I'll be getting celebrities right here. You know what
Well,
I mean?
that's the same thing. I love that you said that
Yeah.
because two things I'll share with you guys. In addition to I believe in yourself and your brand, because as a photographer, your name. That's why I always kept my name at Jeffrey Gamble. People know me, right? That is the brand, right? What you see, what you get, right? So I had to fine tune that and master that and make it something amazing so people continue to believe it. But it really, I was doing a lot of models, right? A lot of models, a lot of people, and I learned is to the element of giving back and being passionate about everything you give that sells you. So the celebrities, I did not go looking for Big. I did not go looking for Usher. I did not go DMX. It all like came to different people believe that you can do it. And they said, okay, he's good at what he does. Give him the job. I did not know what I was going to be doing at that moment. And one more thing I want to add to that is I said to myself, okay, well, if I could make myself be like honey, then the bees will be good. It will come around. You know what I mean? Like the bee will come. So so make yourself that, like something that everyone wants to come and want to work with. Be a part of. You know, so honey is something that, you know.
So let me ask you though, what do you think sets you apart from other photographers? Like if you had to give advice to an up-and-coming photographer, videographer, people coming up in the game right now, what would be an advice you can give them that will help them set themselves apart?
I'm glad you asked that question.
You saw my resume earlier.
Yeah.
Like, how can they do that?
Well, I would
What
say,
sets you apart?
well, one of the things is learn your lighting. Learn your lighting. Learn your lighting and master your lighting. So just earlier today, I was talking to some other professionals, and they say to be a professional at what you do. Well, my other mentors used to tell me that. They said, first of all, prepare yourself 50 years down the road, and you have to be doing it over 100 times. Today, someone just said 80,000 hours. Right?
80,000.
80,000 hours.
You gotta invest it.
Yeah. So after about 30, 40,000 hours of dedication, then you can say, okay, well, you are quote good at, you know,
because you make all the mistakes you're supposed to make.
Yeah, do it. Well, yeah, you're always going to be making mistakes. Sometimes the happy mistakes is in photography is good too. But a younger photographer, learn how to deal with your clients, learn how to master yourself, how to be on time, how to be professional, right? How to be consistent, and most importantly, how to deliver, right? Your word is your bond, right? If I say I'm going to deliver something tomorrow, I'm delivering it tomorrow, right? It may not be 100% of what it is, but I'm going to deliver tomorrow.
Something to
if
you
I can
tomorrow.
get an extension, I will get an extension. Don't burn any bridges, right? We all do. We all do, right? Some of it happens. Some of people take advantage of us. They try to take advantage. You have to protect yourself. But try to protect yourself from people, or don't burn any bridges. Learn your lighting, right? And just be professional, right? Show up on time. Be consistent. Consistency. So when you learn your lighting, you will master consistency. Consistency breeds success. So that's by doing it over and over.
It's the same thing. If you're consistently doing it, you're gonna know
exactly. So whether you win, whether you lose, you fail. Consistency.
Consistency. Yeah, I have that's one of my tagline from one of my brand.
Oh yeah.
Here's it.
Okay.
Consistency.
Oh wow. Consistency wins. It never fails, bro.
That's one
thing I liked about having a studio.
Yeah.
When you own your own studio, you could shoot the same light, right? Over and over. And every time you do it with a different subject matter, you will learn something new each time.
Yep.
And you got to do it. You can't do it one time and then another time. So that's the beauty of having a studio. And I had the opportunity to have a studio in the city to express that for 10 years. when you don't have a studio, it's very difficult. You know, you might use outside as your studio because outside is your number one studio when you are not when you don't have an indoor studio. But in America, you got to have something indoor because of the cold weather.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you have to be able to explore and experiment.
Yeah. Out of all the shoots, which ones means the most to you personally? Out of all the shoots.
Well, that's a tough question because they all meant something. Like first is working with Usher in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
He was young in his game. He and I, you know, like I got this cover here that I will share with you guys. I did. He was on his first album,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and he told me, you know, just same thing, just keep consistent.
Mm-hmm.
This was a 10-page Usher. You know, that was something that we did in Chicago. He was working in the movie then. He had just come back from, he used to, you know, live in the city at some point. So the thing is, you know, no entourage or no anything like that. And I remember you said, just keep working hard. And, you know, that one thing about shoots that I really love, especially about working with people, it doesn't have to be always celebrities. Every soul, every person is unique. And they add something to your life.
Yep. What was a young Usher like?
Well, from what I experienced there, he was dedicated. Like I said, he came with his manager and two other people. He came to the studio. Whatever I asked him to do, he did. You know, whatever plan of action I decided, okay, I want you to have your screen.
Mm-hmm.
Like, can you do this shot for me?
Yeah.
You know, he wouldn't hesitate because I always wanted to create as a photographer something different that nobody else does. So whenever I get a celebrity, that one moment, so sometimes I get them for 1 hour, from 30 minutes to 5 hours. When I get that one moment, I have them do something that's unique that nobody else may capture. And this is one thing that even when I had shot Big was you know, when you reflect back on this experience here, this was another cover of mine.
Yep.
That I did with Big. That's a very interesting story. I like
That's
to dabble on that a little bit. So there's one image in here, right, that people ask me, even this week they asked me, how did you get that shot of Big? So there's one shot of him looking up, and he raises his middle finger, right? This little Kim in the corner there, she first started, Jermaine Dupri. So he raises his little finger. Now, nobody in the world has this image. No one in this universe.
Only Mr.
How do you get
Campbell.
him, as a photographer, thinking different? I ran up the stairs in the Palladium above. I said, you know, I'm thinking. Then I said, maybe I could see from above.
Like a
And
bird.
I call him, yeah, bird's eye view.
Yeah.
So I call him. I said, hey, look up. And when you look up, he just, he just gave you, and you got to be ready. So photography, so I probably got like 2 snaps. I probably had like 2 or 3 frames, right? So a lot of times you have to be ready. You have to be competent. You have to have the right imagery. You know, you have to have the right, photography is about being responsive, being on point, and you know they have some other ones in there, some key moments. This was one of the ones I as a memory, to be honest with you, that I really, really enjoyed. This one right here, and me and Biggie in the limo alone. So this was one really experience that me and Biggie Smalls in the limo alone for a split, this particular image here, for about maybe 10 minutes. Because I was with him for 6 hours to do those days I was doing more documentary style photography. So I would work with them, with Puff from Bad Boy, all the way to the Palladium when they were celebrating his platinum album release party. So I was documenting them, you know, 6 hours. So that experience, I have personal backstage images that some of it never released to the world. And the thing about that is, that moment later on, no one knew how big was going to be. And that moment in the limo, and you ask someone to do something, whether you just put your feet down or raise your foot, or you know, because some people get starstruck. You know, some people get but you can't be afraid to.
You gotta be in the moment.
Yeah, tell them what to do and do whatever. But so that was one. But young Usher, reflecting back on that, Usher was just a person that was talented. You know, he believed in himself, and that was prior 9 albums. You know, he's done 9 platinum albums since then. So again, he is on his journey, doing his thing and working hard. And So when you out here now and you're delivering and you're working, when you're younger and you see other talents doing what they're doing, whether they came and gone, survived or succeeded, some are still here. That's what makes you humble. It not only makes you humble, it makes you believe in something that you have to say, no matter how long it takes for people to believe in you.
The Caribbean.
Yeah.
The Caribbean. The
You know?
Caribbean.
Yeah.
How important it is for the Caribbean creatives to tell their own stories through visual. The Caribbean.
Caribbean, be yourself. Part of the thing about being Caribbean is that we were raised with a different cloth. Our family structure, the way we think, the way we eat, the way we do things. And I think it's very important to believe in yourself and how you market. You know, I mean, when you come from the Caribbean, you come into a different market. This is an American market, so you kind of have to adapt a little bit, but still remain authentic,
Very much so.
and original. You know, authentic. You don't have to change your lifestyle for an industry. You don't have to change the way you do things because people think you should do. Because the moment you start to do that, it becomes unauthentic, and it becomes unreal in a way that your art becomes what people thinks it should be like. And that's where you water it down and it becomes like everybody else. And people won't really believe in your talent 100% when it gets watered down. They want the authentic you as best as you can, right? So of course you got to do some jobs with what you would want clients to see and what they would want to, you know, pretty much hire you for. But you still got to be yourself and try to be as authentic as possible. You know, like me as a Caribbean artist, there's some things that I just remain, like I just kept humbly the same way from back home, like with the tea I drink, you know, how I meditate in the morning, you know, the foods I eat, being humble and being humble. I will say it again. I will express that.
Mr. Jeffrey Campbell.
Yes.
Mr. Jeffrey Campbell. The Mr. Jeffrey Campbell behind the cameras that created all these historic moments. The guy that captured the world through lens. You know what I mean? That is all documented. You got it there. I know you got some great. I think you have a book, something like that.
Well,
doing a book, or
yeah, I'm working on putting together that
book?
right now because that's the stage of your life right now where you could collaborate and put a lot of that, because part of the thing about being an artist is telling your story continuously. Although magazines and stuff could do that, but it comes a point where you have to tell it your way.
Of course.
Right. Either you got to do a memoir, you have to do a book, or do several books. You know. So right now in mind, I have a couple different strategies. One is focusing on portraits, which is what I mastered in for years, going back to 96, between 93 and 96 to now. And some of my other work that I worked through the commercial industry, because as an artist, you have to survive. So there are a lot of times you're doing commercial work, but that's for what people pay you for, right? So that's still art, but it's not really your work, right? It's work that you're doing for people. So you have to just try to have an element of who you are in it, so you can still remain authentic in a way that you can still feature it. So that's where kind of I am right now, because I literally been doing this I've been in this industry, praise God, this spring, this month, Easter just passed. I could officially say 33 years.
That's 3 decades and 3 years.
At
Just said it that way.
Just
It sounds more
hustling from the
official.
streets,
Yeah, like
rising up.
like you see it from analog to
And
digital.
as a matter of fact, I could raise it one more year, because I think I started like more like 91. So let's say officially even 2006 now. Yeah, 34.
You see, it's 3 different generations.
Three generations.
3 different generations through the camera, from analog to digital to what they call AI now. What is it like to see that?
Well, to be honest with you, it's funny like you mentioned AI, because even today I was in an environment where I was talking about AI and using it as a tool. They all, number one, they're all tools, right? I'm excited about it now too, as I was when I first started with the camera, because when you're passionate about what you're doing, I'm like excited with what that tool is gonna do to what my mind creates.
You have to.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, a lot of people talk about it and be like, don't talk about AI, and don't. Actually, to be honest with you, I'm curious. You know, I haven't really done a lot of it yet, but I will be. You know, I am starting to develop it. The digital. I remember when digital came, and I was reframing from digital for a while, and when I started to work with digital, it helped me. It helped me help my career.
The word is,
you know,
the word is work easy, not harder.
right, smarter.
It's on smarter.
And smarter too.
It's same thing. Work smarter, not harder.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, so what are you, Mr. Jeffrey Campbell? What are you evolving on? What are you doing right now?
Well, part of what the initiative that I've been doing, especially within the last like 7 to 8 years, I've been creating a strategy where I go back into inner city schools to give back. And I've really, really been doing that. I've really been focusing on that because I believe in a lot of the opportunities I had in Manhattan and globally. There weren't a lot of young people like myself in those rooms, right? And not that we weren't as talented or as creative. It's just that our young people weren't exposed at a younger age to believe in themselves, number one, or to experiment, or to have a vision to be in those circles. So what I was able to do is kind of create a sense of like what I learned through advertising, through editorial magazines, and formulate it in a way that younger minds could appreciate photography, appreciate something about the love, the passion that I have. So I've been getting contracts through the DOE as a vendor and different things like that. And I go into what I teach them how to make a camera out of a shoebox. Traditional, still traditional. Camera out of a shoebox, black and white, the dark room, the red room. That's still happening right now. Into digital. So I've been utilizing that. And it's funny enough, 8 years 10 years may seem like, you know, short, a long time, but there's some kids that have their masters right now. Some kids, you know, finish college. So I've been doing that, and I really feel good about that because I do believe a lot of our creatives do make some good money and do different things, and they don't really come back to our community and reinvest. You don't really have to just invest in only money. It's not just about money as far as reinvesting back in our community. Sometimes it's time, right? You can invest time. Sometimes it's in time boils down to everything. You know, it is money. You know, but you got to give back. And how do we give back? Right? Sometimes the most troublesome kid takes the most greatest photographs. They just don't know it. They just didn't believe in themselves. That's why I never give up on no kid. I never give up on whether it's high school or junior high. I specifically work in the junior high school range simply because the junior high is where I was really a little bit on the tough side. So I believe that's where we transitioned.
Yeah.
So I kind of worked in that era, 7th to 8th grade a little bit. So giving back to my community, I've been doing that for like the last 8 years, and just working on my personal clients, you know, and putting together.
All right.
Yes.
What legacy do you want Jeffrey Campbell name to represent? What legacy?
That's a really amazing question. Legacy, passion, love, and diligence. Being able to capture the culture authentically and being able to express photography in the best light possible. So my motto is always to bring people in the best light possible. So when they want to come into my light, they want to know that they're coming to someone or a light that's something amazing. It's like the sunlight, right? So when you come to that studio or that environment, you know you're coming in the hands of something special. And that's why people love working with me. It's not just about the photography, but also it's about the experience. And that's the legacy that, you know, making people look and feel great.
Let me add one to that. Representing St. Lucia.
Well,
the biggest stage.
Highest representing St. Lucia.
And the islands.
Representing. And then also, we had 2 noble doctorates. We had Sir Arthur Lewis and Derek Walcott. And I always look at these guys from that little island and having global, it always inspires me a little bit, to represent St. Lucia. in that
Beautiful
sense.
island.
Beautiful island. All the other islands are big.
I was privileged. Was privileged to visit St.
Come on,
Lucia.
little Jamaica, but you know, different. You know,
different vibes, man.
Different vibes.
You know what I mean?
But representing.
Yo, listen, it was a pleasure
Oh man, thank you.
having you.
Thank you.
And
Thank
this
you.
platform,
Thank you,
Nothing to
everyone.
Fear podcast. This is what Nothing to Fear is about. We uplift people and we put people in position to win. And that's what we're about. And we're going to continue our journey because we believe in what we're doing.
Amen.
You know what I
Amen to
mean?
that.
So if the energy is right, you're welcome.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But if the energy is wrong, we know from the jump. You know what I
Right.
mean? You know what
Absolutely.
I'm saying?
Absolutely.
You on social media? You want to tell them?
Yeah, I mean, my website, just my name again through the
Yeah.
branding is Jeffrey JeffreyGamble.com.
Mhm.
It's JeffreyGamble.com, and IG is the same way. It's JGamble
Mhm.
_NYC. So it's JGAMBLE _NYC. And that's the IG. You'll be able to see everything on there. And from the IG, you'll get all the other personal information. My contacts for my cell phone number or the website or any other websites that or associated platforms that I'm really sharing my work under at the moment. And as you know, this field, this craft is ever evolving. It's like a tree.
Mhm.
A tree grows and grows and grows, so it never really ends. So I'm still a student sometimes in the world of learning. It's still expanding. It's
still have to get evolved.
Yeah, it's still and I look forward to continuously sharing that knowledge to others and making sure that everyone finds their niche, find your path.
Mm-hmm.
Find your light.
Mm-hmm.
Find whatever that light is, and make it something amazing. And know that you are great at whatever you are doing. Just find your greatness at whatever you are, right? Don't let dim light or any other source, any other entity or any other thing affect who you are. Find out who you are, what you are, and what you could contribute to the world. And every one of us have something special, uniquely special inside of us that the world is waiting for, right? They're waiting for you as well. At the same time, while you're waiting to offer and give it everything that you have. So be passionate, be loving, just love.
Listen, he said it all. I don't need to say nothing more. I go by the name of Blanco Pro, and this is the Nothing to Fear podcast. And till next time, thank you for coming through. And safe journey.
Thank you.
Godspeed.
Thank you.
And you know the
Yes.
vibes. You know what I mean? Nothing to Fear podcast. Until next time, remember, like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment down below, please. Leave a comment down below. Until next time, we're out.